Tonight, exclusive access to a neighborhood along the Guadalupe River and deep in the flood zone. A homeowner shares her heartache and hopes.
All you can do is recover and keep moving and honor the ones who didn't make it.
A solemn service inside a downtown Houston church and a growing memorial wall in Kerrville. Two cities united in faith, honoring the victims of the Central Texas floods.
And nearly a week later, more insight into what happened. KHOU Investigates shares new audio revealing a critical alert was delayed as floodwaters rose.
It's more heat than rain again tomorrow, but then for the weekend, it's a whole lot more rain than heat.
Live from KHOU 11, your news starts now.
Tomorrow, President Trump and the First Lady plan to come to Texas to see the ongoing search and recovery efforts after the deadly Hill Country flooding. Tomorrow also will mark 1 week since heavy rain triggered flash flooding along the Guadalupe River, destroying campsites and neighborhoods, killing 96 people in Kerr County alone. This includes 60 adults and 36 children.
And tonight, search crews are combing through the debris looking for 160 others who are still missing. We have team coverage tonight with a delay on sending red alerts to people in harm's way and how people in Houston are honoring the victims tonight.
But we begin with Matt Doherty, who has been in Kerr County all week. He has seen the devastation firsthand in several communities along the river. And tonight, for the first time, he's getting access to a neighborhood in the town of Hunt, which some consider ground zero for the catastrophe.
And he joins us live tonight. Matt.
A few blocks up the road, the town still looks like a disaster, where they're still finding bodies even today. This property in Hunt, Texas has belonged to the family of Louise Parsley for a century.
Referred to as a glass treehouse.
Very cool.
So it's 10 years old.
I've known Mrs. Parsley for a long time, since the days her daughter Elizabeth and I were in preschool together at Beehive in West U.
I've always referred to this area as kind of Houston Annex.
The town of Hunt is for her and many other Houstonians their second home.
Everybody complains about taking the stairs, but now we're pretty thankful.
Located more than 75 feet above the river, her home was safe.
This is completely unprecedented.
But many of her neighbors were not so lucky. Louise takes us on a tour of the devastated town, where bodies are still being found even today, to the Casa Bonita neighborhood where cabins were flattened. A dozen people were killed here, 13 survived.
They still haven't found the grandparents.
Louise collects some of what she can find from the spot that used to be the home of her friend, Holly Frazil. It's what she'll take with her to Holly's funeral tomorrow.
We live in a world where a lot of bad things happen, and they're accidents.
And after tomorrow, there will be many more funerals to come.
All you can do is recover and keep moving and honor the ones who didn't make it, because that's what they would want.
Only residents are allowed into the town of Hunt right now. They must show proof of residency to the DPS troopers at the blockades that are set up on checkpoints around the town. The president is expected to come here tomorrow. Rana Mia.
To see it in person is definitely powerful.
Thank you so much, Matt Doherty.
Tonight, the manager of an RV camp in Center Point, Texas, is sharing his story of survival with us. George Davis manages the Guadalupe Keys RV Resort. He tells us he was monitoring the rainfall that morning, but was not receiving any alerts on his phone. But his gut instinct told him danger was coming, so he evacuated the roughly 25 people who were staying at the resort, including his daughter and her family who were there for the holiday. They all got out with only minutes to spare.
And we hear the wall of water coming. It's moving. I mean, it's moving fast, and it sounds like kind of like a cross between a jet engine and a train, kind of rushing down the river. And you can see all the debris kind of caught up in it. For me and my family to get out alive, we're blessed and we're very thankful.
Davis is now staying with his daughter in Willis while he gets back on his feet. Meanwhile, the FEMA task force is setting up a command center at his RV resort as a staging point for volunteers and first responders who are helping with search efforts. Also tonight, Kerr County officials are facing growing scrutiny over how long it took to alert those in harm's way.
An expert is calling this a point of failure. Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski shows us newly obtained audio that reveals the delays in sending those flood alerts.
Nearly 1 week after the deadly 4th of July floods, local officials have yet to release a timeline of who did what and when.
All those questions will be answered.
That was Tuesday. This was Wednesday.
That's going to be checked into at a later time. I wish I could tell you that time.
And today,
thank you very much.
Officials didn't address a timeline at all.
The Guadalupe is starting to come up and Shoemaker is no longer passable at this time.
Their unresponsiveness comes amid new audio recordings from that dreadful Friday morning. Scanner enthusiast John David Trollinger captured a first responder's plea at 4:22 a.m.
Is there any way we can send a code red out to our Hunt residents asking them to find higher ground or stay home?
Standby, we have to get that approved with our supervisor.
Code Red is the emergency notification system in Kerr County, and as this public service video shows, it's been in place for years.
You will receive emergency warning calls on your landline or cell phone.
Trollinger says he only got a Code Red alert hours later, around 10.
Someone should have gotten up and been there to go, okay, send the code red.
That is a point of failure.
Jeanette Sutton is a risk communications scholar and founder of the Warn Room, a training tool for agencies to improve warnings and alerts.
Policies need to be created around what kinds of messages go out under what conditions. For whatever reason, they weren't available to get in touch with that supervisor in the middle of the night. That does need to be addressed. That's where people's lives are on the line.
Professor Sutton says coordination and communication are critical. Unfortunately, she says she does not see robust policies in place at agencies very often. Back to you.
So many questions tonight. Thank you so much, Jeremy Rogowski. Tonight, a memorial wall is growing on Water Street in Kerrville to honor the lives lost. The so-called Wall of Hope features photos of victims who have been found, as well as those who are still unaccounted for. It was created by Leo Soto, an artist from Florida who travels around the country following major tragedies.
It's really easy to get desensitized when you hear of a casualty count and you just think so and so many people died, but when you take a look at every picture, there's a family that's grieving.
Everyone here, like I said, everyone knows someone one way or another. And so just to know that this many lives and this many people have been affected, it's a lot.
Soto provides the photos and flowers to get the wall started, but the community is invited to add personal mementos as they gather to grieve and support each other, trying to be Hill Country strong.
Tonight, Houstonians gathered for a prayer vigil to honor the lives lost and pray for those who have yet to be found. Maria Aguilera has the story from Annunciation Catholic Church in downtown this evening. Maria.
Mia, it was an intimate ceremony here in the heart of downtown Houston, a moment of unity and faith after days of so much grief.
I just felt so heartsick over the loss and the tragedy.
Inside the church, a small crowd gathered, a quiet space to pray, reflect, and remember. Jim McInvale, known as Mattress Mac, says he spoke with the priest here to host a vigil after the devastating Hill Country floods and his personal ties to the tragic loss.
A friend of mine lost his wife in this terrible flood, and a lot of people I know that their friends, their children went to Camp Mystic. We're praying for the victims, we're praying for the families who remain behind, and praying for all of us because it's affected everybody in Texas.
He says this Holy Mass was dedicated to those lives lost, to those suffering, and to the families still waiting for answers. And he's asking anyone with faith to pray. He tells us his team is taking donations to the Hill Country, just a reminder of how this city shows up in dark times. In downtown Houston, Maria Aguilera, KHOU 11 News.
As Mr. Rogers famously said, whenever disaster strikes, his mother would tell him to look for the helpers. And that's what we saw at J.C. Park in the Timber Grove area this evening, where neighbors gathered for a pop-up baked goods and craft sale. All funds raised will go directly to Kerr County flood relief. Tonight's fundraiser was held right down the street from Sinclair Elementary, where Greta Toranzo attended. She's one of the victims from Camp Mystic. This all started with a group of young friends who just wanted to help.
Today we're selling water
lots of things that we made and people donated for the Kerr County flood, and we're donating all the money to them and like all the helpers and families that still have missing people and the searchers who are searching for them.
Such sweethearts and such a sweet gesture. The organizers, by the way, have a goal of raising $5,000.